Should you follow your passion? I mean, that's a question that gets thrown around so much, right?
Yeah.
Commencement speeches, advice columns, everywhere.
Uh-huh. All the time.
But the thing is, it's really not that simple, is it? Sometimes, yeah, it's the magic ticket. Other times, no,
Mm.
maybe not the best move.
Exactly. And that's kind of the fascinating tension we're really digging into today. We're looking at this really insightful article from September 2024. It's called When to Do What You Love.
Okay.
And it does a great job unpacking that tricky line.
Yeah.
When does pursuing what you're really interested in make sense? And when do other things, well, maybe need to come first?
Because, let's be honest, whenever someone says follow your passion, there's always that unspoken instead of hanging there, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It's chasing the dream job instead of maybe the safer paycheck
Yeah.
or just the more like conventional path.
Right.
So the real question isn't just about what lights you up. It's also about what you might be, giving up.
Yeah. What's the opportunity cost?
Exactly. So for everyone listening, our mission today is to really dissect this, try and shed some light on when leaning into those passions might actually be the right call for you.
And right off the bat, the article makes a really crucial point, especially if your main goal is just, making as much money as possible.
Okay.
In most situations, focusing only on what you're super interested in.
Huh.
Probably not the most direct path to the biggest paycheck.
Right. Makes sense.
People generally pay for solutions to their problems, right?
Yeah.
For things they need or value.
Yeah.
And that doesn't always line up neatly with what you happen to find fascinating.
Right. Unless your passion happens to be something tons of other people value and they're willing to pay serious money for, like that amazing musician you mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe a top athlete.
Yeah, someone totally in love with what they do, and they reach that incredible level of skill and, fame. They can absolutely make a fantastic living. Passion and profit all lined up.
But, and this is but the article points out pretty quickly. Yeah, those fields where passion and big money clearly overlap, they tend to be incredibly competitive.
Makes sense. Everyone wants that.
Totally. The odds of actually reaching that absolute top tier, they're often pretty slim, just because the pool of talented, passionate people is so huge. It's not saying don't go for it, but you got to be realistic about the odds.
Okay, so blindly chasing the most popular, maybe flashiest passions isn't always the smartest financial strategy. But then the article brings up something, well, really interesting, this idea of the power of strange tastes.
Yes, I love this part.
Tell me more. What's the deal with strange tastes?
The idea is basically that your odds of success might actually go up if your interests are a bit niche, a bit unusual, as long as those specific, maybe odd interests also happen to provide real value to other people.
Okay, intriguing. Example.
Well, the article uses Bill Gates, which is, a pretty good example.
Right.
It wasn't just that he loved programming. Lots of people did, even back then. His specific, very strange taste, as the article calls it, was this intense drive to write software for customers.
Ah, okay, not just tinkering for himself.
Exactly. That specific combination, deep tech skill, plus this, like laser focus on meeting a real market need, that's what set the stage for, well, Microsoft.
That is such a sharp insight. It's not just the passion, it's the application. How it connects to what someone actually needs or wants. Makes you wonder what other weird combos are out there.
Totally. And the article even touches on this other kind of interesting group. People who have a genuine, almost intellectual interest in making money itself.
Like the game of it.
Yeah, exactly. It frames it as different from just greed, more like enjoying the puzzle, understanding economic systems, spotting opportunities, figuring out the mechanics of wealth creation. It's a different flavor of passion maybe, but definitely a powerful driver for some.
Okay, so we've got the trade-offs, the potential in niche interests. But then the article kind of flips the script, doesn't it, with this idea of the startup superhighway.
Yeah, this is where it gets really counterintuitive, but in a super interesting way.
Lay it on me.
Okay, so the article suggests that if your goal isn't just comfort, but like truly massive financial success, we're talking hundreds of millions, billions.
Right, the extreme end.
Then pursuing your deepest interests might actually be the best way to get there.
Whoa, okay. How? Why? It's not just motivation, right?
It's partly motivation, sure, you need that drive. But the core reason, the article argues, is that those huge, game-changing financial wins often come from startups.
Makes sense.
And the most revolutionary startup ideas. They very often bubble up from personal passions, from side projects, things people were doing just because they were intensely curious about them.
Apple, Google, Facebook. Weren't they all basically passion projects initially?
Exactly. The article points straight at them. They didn't necessarily start with a giant business plan aiming for billions. They started because the founders were obsessed with an idea, a problem, something they found fascinating.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it that way. The initial spark wasn't purely commercial.
Right. And the article explains why this pattern seems to hold. Those truly breakthrough ideas, the ones that shake up whole industries, they're often outliers.
Things you wouldn't find just by analyzing current market trends.
Precisely. If you're only looking for what seems obviously profitable right now, you might completely miss these weirder, passion-driven ideas that end up being huge. Plus, young tech enthusiasts often have this, gut feeling for what's coming next, an instinct.
They're living in the future almost.
Kind of, yeah. Their obsessions often align with future needs before the rest of the market catches on.
That makes a surprising amount of sense. It connects to that midwit peak idea the article mentioned. Can you break that down a bit?
Yeah, the midwit peak. It suggests this interesting curve, like if you don't need much money, you have total freedom to follow your interests, right?
Sure, low stakes.
Then, as your income goals rise to, say, a comfortable upper middle class level, you might need to be more pragmatic. Choose established fields, maybe make some compromises.
Okay, the middle zone.
But then, if you're aiming for that really stratospheric wealth, especially in tech or other innovative fields, suddenly that deep personal interest becomes a massive advantage again.
Assuming you have the skills to actually build it.
Right. Crucial caveat. But the passion provides the unique insight, the drive, the unconventional idea. So it's like easy, then harder, then potentially easier again at the very top, thanks to passion.
That is a really fascinating curve, almost U-shaped in terms of passion's direct financial viability. Okay, so what about people listening right now who are thinking, that's great, but I don't have that one burning passion. Or maybe they feel torn, between an interest and something that seems more financially sound.
Yeah, and the article speaks directly to that feeling. It suggests that this kind of indecision usually isn't because you have two perfectly equal, amazing options you understand perfectly.
It's not. What is it then?
It's more likely a form of, well, ignorance, basically. But not